I like that song. It's one of my favorites. It's not everybody's favorite, but I won't mention any names in that. But I think it probably best reflects to me the essence of where we are as a people and where we're heading. So there you go. All right. Some good news and some bad news. Which do you want first? Bad news, salt, same. Okay, we'll start with bad news. Bad news is because of the upcoming legislation with the necessity to wear masks in places of worship, we're not meeting next week, okay? So we felt, and I felt, I pushed this, it's my personal view, that being sat in the warm building in the summer for a long while, the last thing you'll be concentrating on is what's being said and done up here. Also, it makes it difficult for the singers and everybody. So we felt, unfortunately, that probably the best thing to do is to go into shutdown again temporarily. We will still be putting out online, so you can still access us online. You can still get in touch with us, and we'll put a couple of messages out each week to you. But just so you've got the heads up, the text will be coming around. So as of next week, we're in shutdown again till we get rid of the mask thing, okay? The good news is we're here. We'll get another opportunity to be together, which I appreciate. I appreciate it's that time of year when lots of people are away on holiday, and that's good. I'm delighted about that. And also we've still got many people who just don't quite feel comfortable coming out vulnerable. My greatest grief in all of this, we all have thoughts and opinions about the current situation. I lean on the side of I'm not sure whether we're doing more damage with what we've done in the long term than we are fixing what's happening. And I say that because my personal experience is having to deal with the fallout of mental illness and separation anxiety. And I am physically and personally watching people deteriorate because of the situation, not because they have COVID, but because of what the situation is creating. And I feel very sensitive about that, and I'm aware of it. So let's not forget them. The whole point of the Black Lives Matter is that when you try to contrast it with All Lives Matter, is that you are not acknowledging the specific challenges that black individuals face, and I understand that, and I think it's a very fair principle. But in the sense of the COVID, I also would say by the same criteria that there are lives that matter specifically and very much who have not been affected physically by the COVID in the sense of being infected by it, but who are desperately, desperately suffering because of it. And also from my connections and contacts, I feel for the people who've missed appointments, not getting cancer diagnosis and treatment, and all these are very important to us. So don't forget there is an area of need out there that we need to be sensitive to and conscious of. And if the least we can do is remember them in our prayers, then that's great. So also tonight, Chris has taken the load off me, very appreciative, and I'm glad about it. I think what she's got is fantastic. So she's going to be sharing with us a little later. There's a brilliant little video and a brilliant picture that goes with that I hope you can grasp the wonderful story that goes with that. In the build-up to that, I was raised with God is speaking, God is saying something, and I still believe that. I still believe that. There are times where inexcusably I can say, God is saying something to me there. Now some of you weren't raised in that background, might use terms like the universe is speaking to me. Well, whatever you want to call it, something is speaking to us. And let me tell you why. If you remember last week, I brought into what I was talking about the little story of the frog and the kettle. Do you remember that? How if you try to put a frog in a boiling pot of water, the frog will struggle and wriggle and slide and jump, do anything to get away from it. But if you take that same frog, and incidentally, don't try this experiment at home. If you take that same frog and put it in cold water and then slowly heat the water, the metabolism of the frog is so geared that it will adjust its metabolism to accommodate the changing temperature of the water. The problem being, it doesn't know when to stop. So ultimately, the frog literally will boil to death because it has lost its ability to discern what's happening in the situation it's in, and it has been conditioned in a wrong way. Okay, Chris will talk about another kind of conditioning, being conditioned in the wrong way. And we mentioned that. Now, guess what's been happening all week? I don't know who you follow on Facebook or what's happening, but randomly, Chris and I independently, and in many other ways, what's kept coming up this week is that story of the frog and the kettle, or the kettle in the boiling pot. Now, you say, why am I raising it? Because the universe is trying to tell some of you something. God is trying to tell some of you something, that the situation we're in, if we're not aware, in our own lives and experience, means that we are so accustomed to the way things are and the way things change that we've lost the ability to challenge it so that we can be free from what actually would take life from us rather than giving life to us. So I think we're right on a cusp and on the edge of something happening. We also had a good meeting with some of our guys this week that help us in the leadership of this house, and I think we've refocused on some of the major points that defines who we are. And I think as we work towards coming back again unapologetically, we are going to push that because we are who we are, and I'm glad we are. Also, a big welcome. You know, I also had a talk this week with a guy across in America. What we're doing in terms of pushing things is reaching far and wide, and we've got so much stuff going on beyond just this meeting. So appreciate you guys joining us as well today and listening to what we have to say. But we bless you. Listen, okay? There's a voice that's coming that if you hear it, it will bring change, and I want it to bring change. Now, I don't know whether I get to add anything later. I really don't care. I think Chris has got some great stuff. But tonight, as we look at this whole issue of the naked truth and what that means to us and how we address that, let's have an open heart and let's, hopefully by the end of it, let's get naked. Yeah? All right.